All right, so we're going to talk about posesivos, which is just showing possession. There's several ways to discuss this. There's possessive adjectives, possessive use of the word de, and possessive pronouns. Possessive adjectives show possession and are used before a noun, which is kind of different because normally we use our adjectives after nouns. So mis zapatos, my shoes, su coche, his car, or su comida, their food. Here are the possessive adjectives right there. Don't forget that these are adjectives. If I tell you that you are my mom, my is an adjective that shows possession of, my possession of you as my mother. Because they are adjectives, they must match your nouns in both gender and number. However, me, tu, and su are gender neutral, so you actually only have to match them in number. You can see nuestro and vuestro end in o or a or os or as, okay? So those you have to actually pay attention to gender. Me, you only have to add an s if it's plural. Possessive adjectives reflect the person showing possession and the thing they are showing possession of. So you need to look to the left of the possessive adjective and to the right to make sure that you're taking care of everything. So this is just what those different possessive adjectives mean. And in this case, this is the informal your, and this is the formal your, so that's tu and that's usted. And this is the informal y'all, and this is the formal y'alls. Y'alls up here as well. It might look scary that su and sus is the answer in both the singular, the left side of the box, and the right side or the plural side. But it's actually a good thing because it's one less thing for you to memorize. But also, you need to make sure you keep it straight because the S is only added if they're showing possession of a group of things. So I can say sus pizzas for your pizzas or his pizzas. And then I can say su padre for their father. So it only matters if the thing you're showing possession of or they're showing possession of is plural. You only use possessive adjectives to show possession of your objects and acquaintances. So you need an object to claim as your, his, or their. If you don't have an object, it doesn't work. It becomes a possessive pronoun when you replace the possessive adjective with a possessive pronoun. So instead of saying my shirt, you replace it with mine. Mine insinuates that that thing I'm pointing to, which is most likely the shirt, or that thing that we're discussing is mine. But we're going to talk about that later. All right, so here's the practica. So you see the words over here, and you're just going to translate it into Spanish. And this is your word bank for the possessive adjectives. So, mi libro, mis lápices. So this is mine, but it's plural. Tu hermana, or su hermana, depending on whether I'm talking about informal or formal. Tus padres, or sus padres, again. Depends on if I'm talking about familiar or formal, informal or formal, sorry. Her friend, su amiga or su amigo, depends on if the friend was a girl or a boy. But su stays the same, okay? No matter what. His friends, sus amigas or sus amigos. Nuestra hija, this one stays one way because we have one daughter, that's a girl, so that means the daughter word is hija, and since that is feminine and singular, so should this. And I chose our, so that means it's nuestro, it's this column, but again I'm going for feminine, so it was nuestra. Our dogs, nuestros perros, that's the best way to write it without being controversial. Your plural cousin, tus primos or sus primos, depending. Your plural friends, tus amigos or sus amigos. These two could also be tus primas or sus primas, or tus amigas or sus amigas. Nothing was specified here, whether it was informal or formal, or whether it was all girls or whatever. So any of the options I've said would have been correct. Their mother, there's only one right answer, su madre. And their parents, there's only one right answer, sus padres. So now this is a little bit different. We're always going to be writing a letter to someone, but who's writing the letter to who changes which possessive adjective we're going to use. So you're going to look at the subject, and that's going to tell you which box to pull from. And then you're going to look at the object, the person they're writing the letter to, basically, and you're going to choose which one it is. So ella comes from this box. So now I just need to know, is my object singular or plural? Well, it's singular because it doesn't end in an S, so it's su. This one is nosotros, so we're up here. And abuelos ends in OS, so my answer is nuestros. Felipe escribe a su amigo. Felipe is singular, and amigo is singular. Laura y Josefina escriben a sus novios. That's two people, so it's coming from here. And novios ends in an S, so it would be sus. Escribo. This doesn't say who the subject is, but technically any verb that ends in O is always the yo form. So yo is the subject, and it says tia, so that's singular, so the answer is me. Escribes tú, so that's my subject. Blank amigas, that ends in an S, so it's tus. Paula y yo, that's nosotros, so I'm in this box. And tío is singular and masculine, so the answer is nuestro. ¿Por qué escribe Rebecca a? And okay, so Rebecca is my subject, so here it is. And profesora is singular, so it's su. Ellos escriben a, so this is ellos, so I'm over here. And blank estudiantes is plural, so it's sus. Yo is my subject, so that's up here. And I write to my favorite actor, which is one person, me. And mi actor favorito. And escriben ustedes a blank familia. So ustedes comes from this box. And this is singular, so it would be su. Some people get confused when they see familia. They think, oh, well, a family is a group of people. But the word itself is singular, so that's what I'm going to go with. Okay? If you don't understand how I found which box to pull from, then you need to see me separately for some tutorials. There are other ways to discuss possession in Spanish, like possessive use of de. This is straightforward, but this is something we saw in the test that a lot of people were having trouble with. You can't just say Claire's prima es de Colombia. You have to say la prima de Claire or el primo de Claire es de Colombia. There's no way to say it other than so-and-so de and then the person that they belong to. So you're modifying the noun with the person that you want it to be from. It's that easy. If you want to say so-and-so's dog, you say el perro de so-and-so. So let's try these. Riley's mom would be la madre de Riley. Brianna's jacket, la chaqueta de Brianna. Lisa's folder, la carpeta de Lisa. Jaime's favorite color, el color favorito de Jaime. Logan's question, la pregunta de Logan. My mom's best friend, la mejor amiga de mi mamá. Or el mejor amigo de mi mamá, because it could be my mom's best friend is a guy. Your informal friend's house, so that would be la casa de tu amigo or de tu amiga. And your siblings' phone number. So there's lots of siblings and they've got multiple phone numbers. So los números de teléfono, that's the multiple phone numbers, de tus hermanos. Hermanos is the generic term for siblings. The last way that you can discuss possession in Spanish is with possessive pronouns. So you use possessive pronouns to replace possessive adjectives. Like I said before, instead of saying my shirt, I can say mine. So here are the possessive adjectives and also what they mean. So instead of my, it means mine. Instead of your, it means yours. Instead of actually, his and hers stays the same, and ours stays the same. Well, instead of our, it's ours. You don't use these unless you are replacing an object in a possessive pronoun, with a possessive pronoun, sorry. This should say with, right here, with. Okay, so when do you use this? In normal conversation, we don't really repeat objects multiple times. So if you say if that is my, if you ask me if that is my pen, ¿es tu bolígrafo? I'm not going to say, sí, es mi bolígrafo. I'm going to say, well, actually, I'm not going to say no. I'm going to say, no, es suyo. I'm going to say, no, it's hers. Or I'm going to say, sí, es mío. I'm not going to repeat the subject every time. We don't talk that way. So I use the possessive pronoun to replace it is the pen of mine, basically, or it is my pen with, yes, it's mine. Notice that suyo is masculine. Even though I'm saying it's her pen, I'm using the ending follows the item that we're showing possession of. So su is because her falls into that bottom left box. Yo, that O ending, is because bolígrafo ends in an O. So if you wanted it to be clear that it was hers, you would actually go back to the de modification and say, es el bolígrafo de ella. And that should say S-A-Y and not S-E. I'm sorry about that. Too much Spanish. So we're going to take my book and we're going to replace it with the possessive pronoun. And you'll see my book becomes el mío. When you are not using the verb ser with the possessive pronoun, you're going to put the definite article in front of it. And that's just el or la or los or las. So, los míos, la tuya or la suya, depending on which person I'm talking to. Informal or formal, to versus usted forms. Your formal parents would be los suyos. Her friend, la suya or el suyo. His friends would be las suyas or los suyos, depending on whether the friends were girls or boys, or a mixture. Our daughter, la nuestra. Our dogs, los nuestros. Your informal plural cousins would be los tuyos or las tuyas, depending on whether they were girl cousins or boy cousins, or a mix. The mix always goes with the boy form. Your girlfriends would be las tuyas or las suyas. Their mother would be la suya, and their parents would be los suyos. Okay? So I'm just taking their, and their implies more than one person, and it doesn't include our or it's not the vosotros form. So it's that bottom right box. So I knew it was going to be suyo or suya or suyos or suyas. And parents, again, we're going to assume that it's masculine because there's a dad and a mom. Just an assumption, but that would make it plural and masculine. And that's kind of what I did on all of these. So these are just examples of like when you would actually see possessive pronouns being used in the real world. So I'm going to call my parents and you can call yours. I would say, and for whatever reason, I've put this example in the usted form here. So maybe I'm talking to my teacher or something. There's a big earthquake coming. Yo voy a llamar a mis padres y tú puedes llamar a los... Ooh, that's a mistake. Hold on. The magic of pause. Yo voy a llamar a mis padres y tú puedes llamar a los tuyos. It was the two form, so I fixed that to say tuyos. So your parents, it's the two part, and it ends in os because we're assuming that you've got a boy and a girl, mommy and daddy. It's not my pencil, it's yours. No es mi lápiz, es tuyo. It's not his fault, it's mine. No es su culpa, es mía. Martin's parents are nicer than ours. Los padres de Martín son más amables que los nuestros. And Franco's drawing is better than hers. El dibujo de Franco es mejor que el suyo. Or if you actually wanted to indicate that it was a girl's, then you would not use the possessive pronoun and you would just say, el dibujo de Franco es mejor que lo de ella. Now, if you go back to these, this follows what I was saying a minute ago, which is, do you see this right here? I'm using the article los because the verb ser is not immediately adjacent to tuyos. And right here, I am using the verb ser right next to tuyo, so I don't need to say es el tuyo. Same thing here. It says es, so I can leave it without the la. Now, I can include it if I wanted to be if I wanted to place more emphasis on it, but you don't have to. This is absolutely correct. Los padres de Martín son más amables que los nuestros. I need that because I don't have ser here. El dibujo de Franco es mejor que el suyo. Again, no verb ser there. And that is it. If you want to email me or if you have questions about how I've gotten to these, you can contact me or talk to your teacher, and that is it. Good luck.